From Sugar House in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, this is Poker Night in America. Hello and welcome to Poker Night in America. I'm Chris Hansen alongside Joe Stapleton, and tonight Poker Night is proud to bring you the third installment of King of the Hill.
Yas, King. Two heads-up tables playing a best-of-3 series. The winners face off for all the marbles, which are dollars. 200,000 marble dollars. Last time we saw Olivier Busquet go undefeated, taking down Sean Deeb. Parker Talbot, a.k.a. Tonka. Today, Busquet will look to defend his belt and title. Who is the competition, you ask?
Well, a couple of players you probably have heard of, Joseph. 2017 main event winner Scott Blumstein, and the winner of the 2014 $1 million buy-in, one drop, and number 6 on the all-time money list, Dan Colman. And lastly, he graduated Harvard at age 19 before teaching a course in game theory and was the lead researcher for The Big Short, Brandon Adams.
Big Short, the movie or the book?
The book. The movie, you see, is based verbatim on...
No, I don't books. Nobody books this anymore.
Well, I know how you hate reading. So let's get down to the felt for the first of 2 preliminary matches. It's Brandon Adams versus Scott Blumstein. King of the Hill, winner take all is the format. 4 players with their $50,000 on the line.
But only 2 are playing at a time. Scott Blumstein, Brandon Adams, blinds 2 and 400. Scott Blumstein, the 2000-something main event champ from the great state of New Jersey.
This is the best of 3 that these 2 are playing. This is match number 1. The winner will move on to the championship.
TV, 1-3, no limit.
Priest. He raises to 1,000.
With 7-5 suited.
And Brandon Adams will make the call. Stapes, what has he won?
A lot of money in cash games and a few tournaments here or there.
Flop is 7-8 ace. It's all spades. Adams flops 2 pair. Blumstein flops bottom pair.
And Scott is probably going to feel compelled to continue.
He initially raised, and so here comes the continuation bet of 1,400.
And with top 2 pair, like when you see those pet adoption retweets, this bet is going to be very tempting to raise.
And raised it is to 4,600.
I like a fold here. It's not usually going to be a raise with total air. In Brandon's case, in worst case, he's going to have some pretty solid equity against you. Of course, I can see all the hole cards, so.
Blumstein with the call. Another spade on the turn. See if everyone hits the brakes. Check, check to the river. It's a jack clubs. And Adams' first act.
I think we are usually going to see some kind of bet here.
And that bet is 2,400. He might try to pick him off with just 1 pair.
But instead, it's that classic line from Star Trek. Raise me up, Scotty. That doesn't sound right.
ED, 1-3.
And look at that. The best hand folds. What a play from Blumstein.
Raise me up, Scotty. Nope, still doesn't sound right.
Just getting started here tonight at Sugar House. You can see from the chip count, Blumstein winning that hand and extending his lead. Raises to 1,200 from Adams. And now Scott looks down at a king-queen. Flop is ace 5-9.
2 per again for Brandon Adams, and I don't think Scott will be bluffing him off at this time.
2,200 to bet. Here's the call. 6,800 chips in the middle as we go to the turn. 8 of clubs.
Scotty with the king-high float on the flop.
Hot size bet from Blumstein, 6,300.
Why do we do this to ourselves with these chips?
I don't know. It was a terrible decision. I listened to Matt. Change it up for the next game.
Here's the call.
This is a pretty big bet, and the flop was pretty dry. So when Brandon doesn't fold to this bet, I think Scott may give this up a lot.
River is a 7.
But despite it being a dry flop, now it's a 4-card straight board, which might give Scott Blumstein a hall pass to bluff again. Here it comes.
The bet's 8,000.
Obviously, Scott's telling a story. I just don't know how believable it is that he would have a 6 in his hand given the action. There aren't a lot of combos of 6s you'd expect to fire this many times with.
Sadly, maybe one of the options that he might be considering is that he has ace-6.
Yeah, that's one.
You know, I mean, that's definitely would call his raise pre-flop.
Doesn't believe he has a 6.
Doesn't.
That's the correct move this time to call, and he's going to win the 35,000 chip pot. Some exchanging of blows early on here at Sugar House.
Exchanging blows. We'll be right back.
Hey there, if you're like me, you probably love playing daily fantasy sports. But if you're also like me, you probably can't beat the rake. Well, guess what? Those days are over because I've switched to Fantasy Draft. At Fantasy Draft, you pay a small monthly subscription based on how much you play, with subscription levels starting as low as $5.99 a month. This means no rake, no contest fees, and 100% of entries are paid out to players. Now, with this special offer from Poker Night in America, you can play in a $250 VIP free roll when you use the promo code PNIA, exclusively available for Poker Night in America fans. This special offer is available through the month of December only. So go to fantasydraft.com or download the Fantasy Draft app and register with the promo code PNIA to play in the $250 Poker Night VIP free roll. Download our new Poker Night in America app for free so you and your friends can have your very own poker night. Also available on Facebook Instant Games. Welcome back to Sugar House in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and King of the Hill 3.
Brandon Adams is off to an early lead with a roughly 2-to-1 chip advantage on the 2017 main event winner, Scott Blumstein.
So, I don't know. I think they needed. I understand the non-November 9 is cool. Yeah, a little bit. So they needed us to do media stuff though. So to both days I had to go to the Rio. So, but other than that, we just kind of hung out.
These are the problems.
I think he's talking about handing over his crown to the 2018 World Series champion, John Sin. You know, I heard John Sin is going to start a baby shampoo company with his dad. They're going to call it Johnson and Johnson.
They might have trouble with that. I mean, I'm no lawyer, but might be an issue. All right, back to the King of the Hill. And flop on this hand is Queen, Queen, 4.
Scott's flopped the best hand with a pair of 4s.
Check.
Technically 2 pair, queens and 4s. And Brandon could easily take one off with ace high and hope to get the cheap showdown somehow. But then again, this is always an option.
Yeah, the raises to 5,700 from Brandon Adams. All right, so we have a call. Turn is a 3. Action's on Adams.
Scott Blumstein bluffed huge the first hand, bluffed huge the second hand. Now it's Brandon Adams' turns. These guys are just a couple of bluffers. They're doing it in the bluff. Scott does have a pretty important decision here. He's deciding for turn and river.
Well, we'll look at this now. There's a call. So we'll have to see, Stapes, if his plan is coming together, because I agree with you. You can't call here on the, what are you hoping for on the river besides him checking to you?
Yeah, you're just hoping he doesn't catch whatever you think he's bluffing with.
River is an 8.
And this is one of those not terrible rivers I was talking about. Luckily, he gets a check from Adams, checks behind. Adams gives up.
Turn high hand, aces with 6s.
And these two are just trading haymakers back and forth.
Did you notice Adams' eyebrows go up there a little bit? I think he was a little surprised that that call came on the turn with what he had.
A little,
This is round 1 of 3 in our first match here at Sugar House in the King of the Hill. Keep in mind, both these players are in for $50,000 in cash. That's why the chips that they're actually playing with are real cash chips here at Sugar House. These aren't tournament chips. And at the end, someone is going to have $200,000 sitting in front of them.
Brandon Adams raising Queen 8 suited. Blumstein is dominated like Katy Perry dominates Kelly Clarkson.
Flop is 5-7-10.
This is a pretty fun flop. Nobody has anything, which seems to be just the way these guys like it.
A check from Blumstein. Looks like it's going to get a bet from Adams. And it does. 3,200 is the bet.
Blumstein does have a gut shot and backdoor spades.
And a call. Let's see if these players pick up any more fun on the turn. Not really. Deuce of spades. Blumstein picks up a flush draw.
The old way high flush draw.
6:30 winning high hand was aces full of sixes starting high hand period.
Check.
You go check, check. Here comes the river. There's a queen for Adams. Continues to have the best hand.
And unlike before, he is now very unlikely to fold if Scott tries to rep this queen. But Scotty doesn't know.
3,000 is the bet.
But it looks like Adams is going to raise.
This is fun.
Wow.
It's 8,500 more for Scott to call.
I don't even know really what he's doing here. Is he turning this into a bluff? Does he think Queen 6 will call?
Mullen.
See, now that I understand. That is a bluff with the worst hand. Ooh. Scott Blumstein. What the heck, dude? Dance like nobody's watching, but bluff like Katy Perry is, I guess.
Adams is going to lay it down, but he wants to see it. Oh.
Reveal. And that's why you never, ever, 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 ever go for thin value. Win the minimum. That's what I always say. That's your tip. Enjoy that, sir.
I do like the odd twist that maybe the player who, if you get called and they use the reveal card and you won the hand, you get the card.
Oh, you like winning them from
Yeah, maybe you can accumulate them. Maybe next King of the Hill, just saying. Put that in the notes.
I think they'd rather have the money. Sevens!
Colman.
Call.
Well, we got an all-in and a call.
Brandon Adams, the player at risk.
It's a flip.
Like Teenage Dream versus Teenage Dream, the complete confection. One of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage.
And here's the flop. Oh, a set of sevens comes right away.
No. How about an 8?
Blumstein not dead yet.
There it is.
Oh, Hope's still alive.
Yeah, put an 8.
Well, Adams is going to double up and stay alive.
Probably save you money.
Round 1 of this match is still not over.
We're back to nearly even in chips. And blinds are up, now 500, 1,000. Adams with a slight lead over Blumstein. He's got the hand that never wins. 10-5. You know you can't make a straight without a 10 or a 5?
Fine piece of knowledge you got there, sir.
With 10-5 in your hand, you literally have all of the straight draws.
Jack 10 calls.
Also a fine hand to make a straight with.
Flop is 9 high. Pair of 5s for Scott Blumstein. Check, check. Turn, please. Another 5.
Now that was not a terrible flop when you're gonna bluff with 10-5, but oh baby, is that an even better turn?
Check.
Really not a lot for Scott to be afraid of here, so I wonder if he's gonna put in some chips to try to squeeze a little money.
And luckily for Brandon, he doesn't have much he can get into trouble with here. Okie dokie.
Oh, 2,000, you say? Looks like there's going to be more than that going in. Well, the raise is up to 8,400. Now, Blumstein's got to decide if he's got a nibble on here or if he's got a full-on fish on the hook.
Scott Blumstein has got to be loving this.
Yeah, either one is really good. Either there's a fish biting or he's already on the hook. He decides to call.
Now, Brandon, what's Scott calling with here, huh? There's fewer draws out there than the first 5 minutes of Buster Scruggs.
Queen, so nothing doing for Adams here, just jack high. And he's going to be first to act. And he might be stepping into a big old pile here.
Pan shot. Scott Blumstein makes the call.
You should have the best hand.
Easily has the best hand. Dominating. Hammer, don't hurt him.
Well, after doubling up, Adams ships that money right back over to Blumstein.
Scotty Blumstein with all the momentum right now.
Remember, this is a best 2 out of 3 match, so plenty of poker to be played. We'll be right back after this. Hey there, if you're like me, you probably love playing daily fantasy sports. But if you're also like me, you probably can't beat the rate. Well, guess what? Those days are over because I've switched to Fantasy Draft. At Fantasy Draft, you pay a small monthly subscription based on how much you play, with subscription levels starting as low as $5.99 a month. This means no rake, no contest fees, and 100% of entries are paid out to players. Now, with this special offer from Poker Night in America, you can play in a $250 VIP free roll when you use the promo code PNIA, exclusively available for Poker Night in America fans. This special offer is available through the month of December only. So go to fantasydraft.com or download the Fantasy Draft app and register with the promo code PNIA to play in the $250 Poker Night VIP free roll. Welcome back to Poker Night in America and King of the Hill 3, where Scott Blumstein has a commanding chip lead on Harvard professor and high-stakes wizard Brandon Adams.
Well, Scotty ain't no professor, but he did stay at a Holiday Inn last night.
Hi-yo!
I actually have no idea where he stayed. He grew up about 90 minutes from Sugar House, so maybe he stayed at home and hung out with the fam. Now I'm being told to say hello, Morristown. But I'm sorry, I don't really New Jersey.
Another popular King of the Hill happening here at Sugar House on Poker Night in America.
Scott Blumstein's got Brandon Adams up against the ropes yet again with a 9-1 chip lead. All in for Adams. Blumstein calls a pocket tens. It's another flip. Like Katy Perry versus the combined talents of every other artist in existence. One of these two hands has a slight mathematical advantage.
Up his 3-3 queen. 7 is a turn, only a 10 will eliminate Adams now.
Nice hand.
And he doubles up again.
He is hanging in there.
Now that double up now gives him 20,000 in chips.
Scott's still got a 4-1 chip lead.
Lines at 800, 1,600.
Ace king for Adams. Tell me Blumstein's got a pair again.
I will if he does. Okay, you just sit there and wait.
You're like, literally, that's my job. Scotty.
We would like to see what you're looking at, sir.
All in.
Call.
It is not a pair this time. It's King Queen versus Ace King.
He's a 3-1 dog here. Adams is running hot in all ins, and he doesn't even have to run hot in this one.
4, 10,
Jack for the sweat.
8, the flop.
How about a spade? Yeah.
A 9 on the turn.
Nice
A
hand.
deuce on the river, and all Adams does is just double up. Might want to try winning some other pots besides just the all-in double ups.
If you never lose an all-in, you'll never lose. I believe this is what they call a rubber match, as in both players are much less likely to die because they have protection.
Oh, I thought you meant like bouncing back and forth. No? Okay.
I'm no Haralabob, but I feel like I'm not like keeping track or anything, but these overs seem to be hitting in some of these games.
Well, in Philly, you have the Embiid totals and the non-Embiid totals.
Right.
Oh, Embiid, is that how you say it? I always thought it was MBID. Blumstein limping in with 5 deuce. Adams gets a free look at the flop.
Eight, 9, Jack is the flop. Open-ended now for Adams.
Now, Scott could bluff at this, but it's the kind of board that's tough to get a player to fold on. It's going to take multiple barrels.
Here comes barrel number 1, 5,000.
Every combination of cards from 5-7 all the way up through like king 10 have a draw here.
Adams with the call. Turns a deuce. Blumstein now pairs up. There you go, check, check. So we'll see the river. It's 4.
And Adams sort of whiffs. He does catch the 4, which is actually the best hand.
Let the betting commence? Question mark?
At this point, Adams only has a bluff catcher, so Blumstein has to decide, does he need to bluff this pair of deuces? And if so, does Adams have a hand that can be bluffed? We know he does.
And there's the bluff from Blumstein.
Now, this is a big bet. I think he folds. Uh-oh. Nice call.
Deuce. Nice one. Ah, dumb river.
Scott Blumstein finally picked off. And for the first time, we really see momentum swinging Brandon Adams' direction.
A large crowd of assorted pants jumping around the table here to watch the action at Sugar House.
So many knees.
All in.
Call.
All in and a call. Blumstein's going to be at risk here.
All right. The Dolly Parton.
Oh, Dolly Parton. The kids are
Whatever.
still calling it Dolly Parton.
I thought the Dolly Parton was 2 8s. Does it make more sense? 9 in the window, but there's also a king.
Close? No. 9. All right. Good game.
Good game, man.
In a little bit.
It looks like the first round is going to go to Brandon Adams.
Well, that was quite the swing from a 9-1 favorite to down 1-0 at a best of 3. I guess this is exactly what OAR was talking about when they wrote that song. What was it? Poker's a game full of variance?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but I do know that we are taking a quick commercial break, and we'll be back in just a moment's time.
Play rake-free daily fantasy sports at fantasydraft.com or download the app from your app store. Use code PNIA and your first week is free.
Download our new Poker Night in America app for free so you and your friends can have your very own poker night. Also available on Facebook Instant Games. Welcome back to Sugar House in Philadelphia, where we just watched Brandon Adams take down Scott Blumstein in the first match of a best of 3.
Scott was so close to taking game 1, but Brandon doubled up, then won a big pot. Next thing you know, Scotty doesn't know what happened to his stack.
Still plenty of poker to be played. Next time, Scott and Adam face off in game 2, as Blumstein will look to force a deciding game 3.
Hey, quit writing mean stuff in the comments, guys. I'm just kidding. Everything you write helps us. It's called engagement. Go to town. Also, like and subscribe, but you'll write the mean stuff too. It's all good.